Welcome to Cork in the North, episode 31. God, wow. We're nearly over half a year already doing this, which has been fantastic. And thanks so much to everyone for watching. I wouldn't continue doing it if it wasn't worthwhile. It's growing all the time. We have some news as well, that in September we are going to be continuing with our weekly Thursday episodes every Thursday at 6 o'clock with guests. We'll see a lot of Aaron Butler and me and people from all around Belfast and comedy. We'll also be having extra episodes available on members only. So basically it'll work out like £1 extra an episode. We've got some great guests booked in. We've got Chris Henry, the former Irish Rugby International. We've got a panel of foodies coming on. We've got loads of people and ideas coming ahead. We also got sketches that you'll be able to access on the members only page. All details of that will be launched by the end of this month. Obviously, we'll continue to give out the free episode, but you can obviously you'll be able to buy some merchandise as well. Cork in the North podcast mugs. We'll be having Cork in the North sort of beer mats, keyrings, whatever. If you like the stuff that we do here on the podcast, and things are going to be changing. So, thank you very much, everybody. I've been over in the UK performing. I'm still on tour in November. Tickets are still available. Belfast is nearly sold out. So please do go onto my website, andrewryancomedy.com, if you are listening in London, East London, West London. I'm in Basingstoke, Manchester, all these places in November. Dublin, Cork, Galway, Dundalk, Newry. So loads of dates all available, and tickets are on sale on my website. But this week I caught up with Paddy McDonnell, who's got the Fail. The Fail this week. I've never been to the Fail before. He's got two big shows on Thursday and Friday night here in Belfast. So I caught up, chatted to him a little bit. I'd not seen him for a while because he's been on summer holidays down south. He went to Wexford, and we'll see did he like it there or not. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here's me just having catch up with Paddy. Fail this week, Paddy. What is it? Talk to me. What is the Fail? So I've never experienced the Fail in the North. So is it a week, a weekend? What is it?
It's so normally about a week and a half long of events in West Belfast. So right. It's called Fail on Football, which is Festival of the People or Community or whatever way you want to put it. And it was basically set up to stop bonfires within the Catholic communities here in West Belfast. So instead of having a bonfire, they decided let's change that and have like a music night, so a night of music and dance and celebration and culture. And then they started like having, like wee parties during the day for the kids and amusements, and then there was like gator racing, and then it's got till the stage now. It's the largest community festival in Europe.
Wow. So do you think like, we don't want to have bonfires because they're
bad for the environment.
Bad for the environment.
People get
unsafe.
hurt doing them.
People get hurt.
And people steal the wood and it damages the ground that it's burnt on and stuff like that. So I think the idea was good behind it, to get young people involved in music, arts and culture instead of
going out like trying to burn stuff.
Yeah.
Basically watch arts and get inspiration from the arts.
But it's also a thing to highlight people from the area. I mean, massively, like I've got loads of exposure from them. The first time I done it I was only doing comedy 9 months.
Yeah.
And I basically just walked into the Fail office and was like, listen, I'm doing comedy now. Is there anything I can do during the Fail? I was thinking of putting my own night on. And they were like, well, we'll have a comedy night, but with no comedian. And I was like, well, I just done a gig with, Des Bishop. I could ask him.
Yeah.
And I phoned Des and he was like, yeah, I do it. I've done it before. And I'll bring Aidan with me. And I was like, right, that on. So
yeah, it's grown from there then for you.
So that grew from there. And what basically happened was we'd done that the first year. I was doing it 9 months. Then the next year I got Eric Lawler and Danny Dowden and me, and we done it till like 1,200 people in the Falls Park.
Jesus.
And then the next year I says, they decided they were getting bigger musical acts, so they needed a tent from Glastonbury. So they says, we may as well use the tent. So is there anybody big enough, did you think? So then we got Paddy Keelty, then we got Jason Manford, then we got Frankie Boyle. So it just grew and grew. The Frankie Boyle one had a bit of bad press, and it got, they were trying to ban it, and we had like a media blackout on it where we weren't allowed to promote the gig. But I mean, once it got banned, everybody bought tickets to it, so it was sold out. There was like 9,000 people. Like, people were crawling underneath fences to get into it, and it was mental. Like, and I think after that, I then had a break for about 3 years probably from the Fail. I didn't do it, and I think it was just because of the association with that gig. It was to take a wee break from it, And then I went back in and done it with Jake O'Kane. And then ended up headlining it.
Brilliant.
Doing my own
Amazing.
show, which was last year, and it was the first comedian ever to do 2 nights.
Wow. And this week, what's happening?
2 nights, Thursday night and Friday night in the Devonish.
So what is the Devonish? Is this a tent or is this a venue?
No, this is a venue.
This is a venue. So how many people are going to be there?
About 800, 850.
On Thursday and Friday?
Yeah,
Jesus.
sold out both nights.
Both nights. That's phenomenal, Paddy.
No, it's great.
And
it's
you're going to walk
great.
out to basically like, and you're from the west.
Last year I walked out to the same as McDonnell. He walked out to Grace.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean? So I walked out till Grace because it was so controversial. And then I says, if it's good enough for McDonnell, it's good enough for
Brilliant.
me.
Is he going to be at the gig, do you think?
I think his brother's going now. But I think there's a possibility he might be there because this year I have Tommy McCarthy,
Oh, right.
the boxer. So what basically happened was Tommy done a gig with me in Tyrone, and then I says, if you're good enough, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Yes, I've seen this. He's a
professional boxer.
Professional boxer doing stand-up.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is he, let me get this right, is he a lightweight or a middleweight? No, what is he? What's his weight on the boxing? I think I've seen him on podcasts.
Yeah. I don't know his
exact weight, yeah. It's a strange thing when you hear about a guy doing boxing. First of all, you want to know his weight.
Yeah.
I don't know why he does.
He's not fat, that.
You know, he's got to be fit. Like it's just got to be how big he is. So he's opening for you.
No, yeah. Well, he's doing 5 minutes. He's not opening. Kieran Bartlett's on. This year, I've took the approach of having. Last year, I had Willie on.
Yeah.
And I had Darren.
And I saw what you brought him onto as well.
Yeah. So, but he done it to me before.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it was a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of crack.
But they would have loved him in West Belfast doing that, William Thompson.
It was great.
They loved him.
And that's the point that we're trying to get. Even when we do our podcast, it's about. Look, it doesn't matter
care.
where
No
you're
one
from.
cares.
It's fucking all about
it's
fun
great,
and
man.
crack. So this year it is proper West Belfast, but I mean, I couldn't go any. I've been very diverse with who I've brought in from West Belfast. So I have a guy who is mixed race, West Belfast professional boxer. I have Kieran Bartlett. So that's on Monday, and then on the Friday night I have Brona Diamond, who's obviously a woman, and Kieran Bartlett, but they're all from West Belfast. So
excellent.
I think
man.
it's a great thing that we have that West Belfast theme this year.
Yeah.
Tell it and a celebration of it.
And would there be many people across the community that would come into this?
Genuinely, like there always was. Even I noticed with like Jason Manford and Frankie Boyle, the messages and people who were asking me to get them tickets and where they were from. So they do travel in. They probably, because people have this thing that they think feel is just for West Belfast. It's not. They're putting on events. You're more than welcome to come in and experience them. My comedy's not for one side or the other. It's genuinely my comedy's just. If anything, I have more mixture up here than I do down south. There's a lot of exposure I need to get down there.
Yeah.
And I feel, and I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but I do feel that some people down there don't see me as Irish.
Yeah, we spoke about this before, but I would see you as Irish. Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I could be wrong.
And if I didn't, I wouldn't fucking say it. Sure, their face.
I could be wrong, but I was started. I have a gig here in Dublin on the 25th of August, and it's only the small room in Whelan's. Third of the tickets away already, which is great.
Brilliant,
that's an audience. But I mean, that's a capital city and stuff like that. So it shows me what I have to do. I mean, I can put a show on up here. The two waterfronts of one sold out. The next one has like 200 tickets left to be sold out.
Yeah.
And that's in December, November. So up here with my tickets and the way things is going, it flies. Down in the south, down below, I need to make a lot of effort.
You need to make a bit of. Yeah, but I suppose it's tricky. Like I'm on tour in November. I don't think I've mentioned it. I have loads of times. And like Belfast, my Belfast gig now is half full. My Dublin gig is nearly sold, like 100 seats. I'm doing a 600-seater in Cork and every man. That's selling pretty well, and that's been filmed. But I noticed, up here, I probably need to do a little bit more of a push as well. Do you know what I mean? Like doing all the local gigs and stuff like that.
And that's where
you have to put the effort
a
little bit down because it's not that it's not. Do you know what I find? Do you know what I find really strange is that like if I look at people who listen and watch this podcast, and I look at the analytics, it says UK. And I think, who's listening to me in the UK? But it's actually Belfast is coming up as UK. And I think if you're in Dublin and you're going through Irish podcasts, does the Mudblood podcast or Cork in the North fall under the jurisdiction of an Irish podcast? Or are you falling under the jurisdiction of a UK podcast?
It obviously doesn't. You know what I mean?
Do you know?
It obviously doesn't. So I don't know. I just don't know. I just know that I have a lot of work to do down there. And it's like I'm going to Australia to do gigs next year.
So you go to Australia?
Australia and America. And I feel like there's more people want to see me out there than there is in the south of Ireland. Do you know what I mean? And that is strange.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be the way it is.
But I think, like, if you're, say, for example, you're a Northern Irish person in Australia and you're working out there as a carpenter, whatever, electrician or nurse or whatever, you kind of want a little bit of taste of home.
Of course.
So they will be looking for Northern Irish stuff.
Yeah.
But this is where I think is like for Dublin and Cork, like, it's very hard to find out how unless you pay and advertise your podcast in the southern region in some sort of fucked up algorithm that will get you onto like the Irish Spotify page. I think you're probably coming into the UK page. Would you say? Would you say? So
yeah. No,
so I think I'd say it's like I've sold tickets in Manchester and I'm like, great, and then it's like, but I'm not shifting enough tickets in Clonakilty and Cork.
Where you're from, yeah.
Where I'm from, do you know what I mean? So we all have this kind of fucking problem, like, you know. But I was talking to somebody down in Cork recently. He's from Cork, but I was talking to him over in London. And I was telling him that I was living in Belfast. And he was like, fucking hell, man, you know, every single person that I meet outside of Belfast that I meet for the first time, whether I meet them on a golf course, at a gig, and I say I'm living in Belfast, a lot of them are saying, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
And then when I'm here, and I speak to people in Belfast and they say, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Cork. They're like, what are you doing here? No one understands. No, it's like no one wants to fuck either want to be here or what the hell are you doing here? Yeah. And I was telling him I was living there and I was explaining why I was living there. And I went through the whole rigmarole and all that kind of stuff. Like, and he turned around to me and he went, you know what? He said, me and my wife were looking at leaving. Exact same situation as me. We want to go back to Ireland, but we've been in the UK system for so long.
Yeah.
He said, the only place that we can buy is in the north.
Yeah.
Because, and I have a sneaky feeling that over the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of more Southern Irish up here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think they can come from the south because of the differences.
But if they've been working in the UK.
But if they've been working in the UK and say they've been living in Leeds or London and they go, you know what, my family are from County Louth or County Meath, I can't afford to buy a house in Ireland anymore because of a massive housing crisis. Where can I go? I'm in the UK system. I can go to Newry. I can go to Banbridge. Yeah. And I can be just an extra 30-minute drive. Yeah. I still have the free healthcare. And I genuinely believe there's a lot more Irish people coming back now because of the cost of living issues, because of after the pandemic. Yeah. Also, you know, people are getting sick of living over in London with these extreme right-wing governments. And I think coming back over here, you know, we have our own problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, that doesn't go away. But I've noticed that there's people are starting to look at the north as a place for people who are from the south.
Well, I do know a load of people who were living in Dublin and they sold up and moved to Donegal because everything was online. You know, they weren't.
And if you've got to go into the office one day every 2 weeks, I mean, that's a nothing.
It's a nothing trip. Yeah. You know, and you know, it's no big deal. I'll go down to Dublin for a night and back up again.
Yeah. Would there be any circumstances for you, Paddy, to leave Belfast?
I think eventually I will probably go when I don't need to be here as much. I think I would have already went. I have been away. Like I spent a bit of time in America and stuff like that. So being away from it, I've been away. But
would you take your kids and all that shift to America? Would you go? Is that something that would appeal to you?
I think I would. And I would probably consider Australia, going by the stories and things that have been told. Like recently talking to Jim Owen and stuff, and he was saying that I would go down really well over there. You know, the fact that I'm a carpenter.
You should go on that TV show. You know, what's it called? A Place in the Sun. Yeah. You and the wife over, and you flipping the fucking card.
But the problem, my wife doesn't want to leave, and she has them in the Irish school here in Belfast and settled, and they're in gilly clubs, and all that is available in Australia. You know, so it's not. But it's one of them ones where, you know, her mum's here, my mum's here, and just going. But I think I genuinely would if I thought that would have given them a better life. Or there's not the same problems here. And I think Belfast is still relatively safe. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's a bit of a drug thing happening at the minute in Belfast where it's catching up with other places. But I do think it's still a bit safer than some places you could go.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, Belfast?
Yeah.
100%.
You know, and people would laugh at you saying that, but...
I'm telling you, I like... When you say the word Belfast to somebody, they think straight away of the history. They don't think of, like, actually, it's incredibly
the thing
peaceful.
that they don't know is, you see, the paramilitaries used to police it.
Yeah.
So there was all that. Now that they're not there policing it, there is a lot more crime. You know, domestic crime in a sense.
Yeah.
But prior to that, Belfast was, like, for domestic crime, Belfast was one of the safest places you could be.
So, if anything, the paramilitaries, by not policing it, have increased crime.
Yeah, you look at raped and you look at your house broke into, but you make it blow up, you're shot, you know, for your religion. But
Do you know what?
But at least it's not domestic.
I know. Do you know what? I was watching the news the other day, right? Because we all know that this is bugging me now because I have to pay my tax at the end of July. pay a statement on account, right? And I say to myself, Jesus Christ, the winter's coming again, and all I'm hearing is fucking fuel, gas, electric, and all that. So what I decided to do was I put a bit of extra money away every month into a special account, and then when November comes, November, December, January, February, and March, I'm going to have an extra few £100 for the gas, because obviously things are going to be really higher. And then I went online and I was like, oh, the UK government have announced that everyone's getting like £400 towards their gas bill this winter. And I thought, fucking great, £400.
You didn't apply, did you?
But you can't, there's nothing, but Northern Ireland are separate.
They don't get it.
There's no fucking storming.
They have to approve it, so if they don't approve it, you don't get it.
And I'm just like, going, what the fuck? And then, but yeah, fucking, you go, Jeffrey Donaldson is saying, we want to be exactly aligned like fucking England. Yeah, you don't want the fucking discount, the discount that people are getting in England to be applied to people in Northern Ireland. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Like, are you telling me you're not going to go back into Stormont to give us fucking cheaper heating this winter? All because you want to be the same as England. Yeah, English people are getting discounts and you don't want to say, I'm just fucking flabbergasted.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. And you know what the other thing is? I was driving down the Shankill Road, usual, going down with Celtic top Irish flag, just looking for interaction.
Playing the Wolf Tones.
Playing the Wolf Tones. I wasn't.
Window down.
Window down, smoking a joint.
Jerry Adams mascot.
Yeah. Bobby Sands memorial on the front of the car, fucking selling Jerry Adams' cookbook out the window for £1. There was a sign down the Shankill, I don't know if you've seen this, man, and it says how much free space there is in the Shankill to build houses. About how many acres are available, and it said we can build 3,300 homes here in the Shankill. I think it's 3,300 homes in Shankill. Get on, and I'm like going, but sure, it's your own fucking people that won't go into government to build housing. I don't get it.
Well, the vast majority would be like, listen, there's a sea border, and we're not. We want the protocol taken away, and if that means not being able to heat our houses and have NHS waiting lists coming down, well, it's so be it. You know, like there was a guy on talking yesterday and he says, my wife needs 2 knees. She needs 2 knees. But I don't give a fuck. Because the protocol needs gone, you know. And I was sitting listening to that going, like, it actually does affect him. His wife needs 2 knees. But he's like,
how does she need 2 fucking knees? What's he done to the knees?
You'll sit and suffer. You'll sit and suffer.
Does she know she needs 2 knees? Because he's just, you need 2 knees.
He says, I didn't know that's what you meant when she wanted to be a wee bit rough. There's kids here, can't talk. No, that's the type of attitude you'll have here. Like, you know,
it's very, and I'm going to say this, it kind of reminds me of some people in America.
Oh, right.
Trump-esque.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I saw a documentary on Vice News and they went to America, and this guy said that when Obama's healthcare program, the Affordable Care Act, came out, he actually got like extra cover for the same premium that he was paying, and it was like, you know, it was quite good. But he didn't like Obama, so he's quite happy to lose the cover.
Yeah, because of that.
Just because of that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just don't. That's how divided people are now.
You would say that they have principles, but they don't have principles.
Yeah.
It's called being staunch. It's called like,
yeah,
you know,
it's my way or the highway, basically. Yeah. And you know what? Like I had my 12th of July here. Heard nothing, saw nothing. Perfectly fine. Really enjoyed it actually. And good luck to people. I hope you had a good one. But I was quite impressed by how the Irish community responded to it. Silence. Just kind of like, no, when I say quite impressed, like, I'm sure I saw the guy with the fucking bin. That was fucking, I thought it was funny. I don't know if was it seen as funny or sad or what. But from an outsider's point of view, you threw the bin. I was just like, what? You see all these guys in orange sashes just going for the door. Like,
the thing about that is, what type of person does that? What type of person would actually, like, if you seen that, what would you actually say? And because I know what I said.
What? Something
wrong with that fella.
I think so, yeah.
100%. Like,
yeah.
there's no right thinking person goes, do you know what? I'm gonna walk out in the middle of these ones here and throw a fucking bin at them, and the only thing that's going to stop them is that wee yellow lock that's on the front door.
And this is my house that the world is going to see, and I'm putting my house up
no, it's my
risk.
house because there's a tricolour out the window. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It screamed to me, right, that guy's not right in the head. If somebody threw a bin at me, I would chase after them too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying what they done was wrong. All I'm saying is,
but from an outsider's point of view, the video was fucking very funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny.
Yeah.
You're like, what's he doing? You know, you see all these videos.
But I mean, if that's the only thing that people can come and say that somebody's up against, like if that's the type of person that's up against their culture If that's what they're saying, like, that's why we have to, because there's people come out and throw bins at us. That's a, like, one-off event.
Yeah.
From somebody who has mental health problems.
Yeah. But like, obviously, that incident happened, but I think on the whole...
If this fella listens to your podcast, if you're sitting going right now, what do you mean there's something wrong with me? How are you? I'll be walking down
I'm guessing you're on
Court Avenue and somebody just fucking bit at me. What did you say about me?
How are you getting on in your new apartment that you're living in because you've had to leave?
I would say...
He is gone.
I would say he has a lovely wee...
New studio somewhere.
Yeah, look after him. You know, that's what happens.
Good luck to him, man. But I think on the whole, from what I've learned, now I could be wrong, I don't have a Twitter account or anything like that, so I don't, you know, the online shit and the reality is very different. But I think on the whole, it was completely peaceful. I think the Irish community just be like, okay, just keep your mouth shut, get it over with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Yeah, most places are like that. I think where there was contention was the likes of Ardoyne shops, where you know, you could say both sides was always attacking each other and there's sectarian hatred on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I live in West Belfast, but on a daily basis, I don't have to generally go in and out of Protestant areas.
Yeah.
If I don't want to, I can avoid it. I can go into the city centre without going through a Protestant area. But I think when you have the places like Ardoyne who are completely surrounded by Protestant areas, so they have to go through Protestant areas, or Protestant areas have to pass them, and there's going to be contention. There's going to be a daily basis where there's going to be something can happen. They probably have, out of 365 days in a year, they probably have 12 incidents that maybe happen.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's the exact number, but I'm just saying it only takes one of them to kick off like a big process. And
everyone thinks then there's a crisis. It's just an incident. Let it pass.
So there was a whole thing that stopped the kids going to primary school and all up there.
I remember that,
So you sort of go to yourself, why do people Ardoyne don't want people marching past singing all that there? There's a bit of hurt there, you know what I mean? So, and a lot of shootings between the two sides. So that's where you get the contention. That's where you get the issues. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the only places, because most people like just go, well, it's a 12. I'm away. I went to Wexford.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it on your Instagram.
I was in Gordy and I was in Kirk.
How was it?
And it was beautiful.
So you stayed, what hotel did you stay in?
I stayed in the Seafield Hotel.
I saw it on your Instagram, right? You were doing Q&As, weren't you?
Yeah.
And it's just, and you were in a hotel, you could hear the kids in the background. And stuff
Well,
like
my
that.
kids were with me.
Well,
they were marching. They were.
They were there.
Well, they've decided they're joining the Orange Order.
Who am I? You let them off. The star culture.
I remember the day my son came in and told me, he was like, "Daddy, I have something to tell you." And I was like, "What is it?" He says, "I'm an orange man." I was like, "Look, listen, I still love you. I'm not into it myself, but you know."
No worries. Let me know when you pass and I'll throw the bin at you.
If you want to bring your mates in with you or whatever, I'll meet them.
So how'd you find down down Wexford?
It was beautiful.
Yeah. How long would you go down for a week? You down for a week?
No, I was only there for 3-4 days, something like that.
You and the wife and the kids.
Just me and the wife.
Just you and the wife? Genuinely just you and the wife? I thought the kids... But
no,
were you away again? Were you away with the... You just locked them in?
Just locked them in the house.
Yeah.
No, with them I went to the Cornlock.
So that's because I saw... Yeah.
But genuinely, I've been to Wexford before, but I mean, that was the first time I really went and enjoyed it.
I've never, ever... I've been to Wexford once, drove in, did a gig, drove out, never seen it.
Where did you go to? Gorey?
Gorey.
Yeah. I tried to get a gig when I was down there, but there was none.
There's fuck all happening around there, man.
I hear.
There's fuck all happening down the east side. Down the east... We spoke about this before in the pod. Down the east side of Ireland, up your fucking game. There's it's gorgeous. That's what I put it. But it seems to be like you go to West Cork, Kerry, and up down there. All this, but down the east side, give me some festivals, man. Give me some festivals.
Maybe we should throw a gig on Gorey. Me and you do it together.
Do it together in Gorey.
Because it's a lovely wee theatre. I haven't done looked at it.
Me and you.
Delamere and all done it. So
there's touring shows. But in terms of like going down there doing a Friday and a Saturday in a club, it's nothing. Fucking nothing.
There always was one, but I remember doing one. I remember doing one a long, long time ago. I can't remember who run it. Somebody run the gig in Gorey and I done it before. Yeah. I remember doing it.
Galway Comedy Festival's coming in October. Are you coming over?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Have you done it before?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm in Galway on the 11th of August though.
Are you doing the Roisin Dove?
Yes.
Oh, you'd be grand.
Oh, I've done it before.
Oh, it's brilliant, mate. I did it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Galway to me is like the Brighton of Ireland.
Yeah.
It's everyone's just very chilled.
I always say that
cool.
The people of Ireland, you can tell by the rivers that run through them. So like you go into Belfast and you have the Lagan.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wow, what's happening? You go to Dublin, you have the Liffey, and people say, oh, you're right. You go to Galway and their river's like really rapid, and the people are like, "Hey,
Yeah.
They're like you're like the river.
And in Cork, then you've got the River Lee.
So it's chilled out.
Yeah, because the Titanic stopped in Cork before it.
Did it?
Yeah, well, it was made in Belfast. It left Southampton, stopped in Cove, and then was hit by the iceberg. So Cove, but it didn't dock in
the
the
iceberg
port.
was following it from Cove.
No, I don't know. I think what happened.
Imagine if the iceberg had a Cork accent.
I'll go right there, go round.
Oh,
Go round. Fucking hell.
But here, Cork has some lovely spots. I've been in Kinsale and stuff like
I'm
that.
going on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down in Cork for the first time in 5 months on Sunday, and I'm so
Can't wait.
Feckin' excited. I'm going to arrive and do fuck all, really. I'm going to play golf. I'm going to go see some nieces and nephews, see a couple of mates, a few pints. You know, Sunday. I'm going to stay down Sunday
Would you go into the city?
Oh, I'll go in for the pints for the city, yeah. Oh,
Oliver Plunkett?
Oliver Plunkett Street? No.
But the bar, Oliver Plunkett, there's an Oliver Plunkett
Yeah,
bar.
there's Oliver Plunkett. I won't go there, no.
No?
No, when I go out in Cork now, I tell you where I'd go now.
Careful, your nephews here.
I'd go probably, I'd start off probably down the Mutton Lane, which
Right.
is just off Patrick Street.
Right.
I kind of like going to places like the Oval. They're all kind of in walking distance. But Cork is kind of opening up down by the Port of Cork now. There's a couple of bars down there towards Black Rock. There's a few places down there. Cork is kind of expanding a little bit out towards the port.
Right.
And along so there's a load of new hotels, new building being done. I was down there recently opening for Jason Manford, and I stayed in a hotel down there. I won't name the hotel.
What does it rhyme with?
Bean.
Right.
I stayed in the Bean, and I must say one thing, it was a nice place, but when you go to a hotel and there's a bottle of water next to the bed, you think, oh, a bottle of water next to the bed, €3 for the bottle of water next to the bed.
If you drank it.
So I'm lying in the bed, on the pillow here, bottle of water on the locker, €3. If I open that, €3. It was a tin can as well, it was a can. And I just went, really? You can't even get, like, sorry, that was your one, like, but you can't even get a free bottle of water there. And you know, it's one of these hotels, like, and it's a trick they do, and it bugs me. And I understand it's all about profit and money, and it's a nice hotel. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful hotel, and it's the design and the architecture is really nice, and the
Is it
staff
a multinational hotel?
There's about 3 or 4 of them in Ireland.
Right, okay.
And basically what you do is, it is a nice hotel, and the staff are lovely. Like, there's no parking, by the way, which is not a bugbear of mine. But anyway,
This is like a TripAdvisor.
it's TripAdvisor. It was a nice hotel, and I did enjoy it.
Did you go on TripAdvisor and complain?
No, I
about it?
didn't. I don't want to fucking go on TripAdvisor, Paddy.
It really makes you feel a lot more satisfied.
Does it?
I think so.
Do you leave TripAdvisor reviews?
Oh, if it's bad.
Oh, if it's bad.
And I really put a good comedy tilt, so
Oh,
then
dear.
it gets a bit of ground, you know, because then people go, fuck this, it's helpful, you know.
Yeah. But the thing about TripAdvisor reviews is some of them are absolute fucking done by batshit crazies.
Oh, why?
I was going to New York, and I was reviewing some hotels in New York about, you know, to which hotel to stay in, and one person gave a particular hotel 2 stars because the shower curtain stuck to them when they were in the shower. That's not that's just the fucking physics, like.
See, in fairness, but it shouldn't stick to you. It shouldn't.
But you don't give a whole hotel experience 2-star review because a shower curtain rubs up against your skin in a hotel. Those people are fucking lunatics that are doing that. Like this hotel in Cork that I stayed in, lovely hotel, honest to God. But what annoys me is that when you come back into the hotel at night and you've had a few drinks, there's readily open crisps, sweets, whiskey, wine, you know, cans of Coke and all that. And next to it, there's a price list. And if you got the munchies late at night, it's very easy to lose control of yourself. And next thing you've racked up 50 quid on fucking sweets. And it's kind of like saying, like, I don't mind a minibar if there's a lock on the minibar. But when you can't see the stuff in the minibar, basically, it's all about temptation. And if I sit in a hotel room and I see fucking sweets up on a shelf and a Mars bar is about fucking 5 quid, and I come in pissed, I'm like, oh, I don't think of the consequences because I'm drunk. If I see a minibar and the minibar is closed, I don't see the sweets or the drink, so I don't register with me.
See,
it's a trick, man.
You have to be prepared. Always be prepared. Always bring a bag of stuff. Like, go in and spend for your $5 Mars bar that you get. Go in and spend a $5 on sweets.
Yeah, but I don't eat the sweets. But it's
just leave them in the room.
Oh, I know, but it's
you know,
it fucking annoys me. It annoys me.
You have to be prepared. The last time I was in Cork, it was during COVID. and I was delivering a car down
Yeah.
till a guy in Kinsale, and we stayed in Cork City, and we get into Oliver Plunkett Bar, we had to book in,
Yeah.
and we got an
Table
hour and a
service,
half.
hour and a half. Oh, that was real COVID.
Yeah, it's real COVID, like proper. And then nowhere else would let you in. So we went to casino and everything, and nowhere would let us in. And we ended up back at the hotel, and there was a guy standing and says, "Look, I can give you a number for a guy who can drop a box of beer off for you." And I was like, "Right, okay." And we got a box of beer dropped off, and we drank one of them because we were warm and they weren't nice. It was a box of Budweiser, and it was just like, the guy turned up, like, "Give us €50 and you can have it." And we bought it, and we didn't even drink. We didn't even drink it because
The Cork paramilitary is absolutely running the show down there during COVID. Like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? But yeah, like that's the one thing that bugs me. But when you leave reviews, what kind of stuff did you leave a review in your hotel in Wexford?
No,
Because you're not going to, or you're going to?
I did on Booking.com.
And what was the review? Was it a good review?
No.
Paddy, what happened? Did the shower curtain stick to you when you were in the
Yes,
shower?
it did. It did stick to me. They didn't let me get into the room until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a ball ache.
And when you've travelled 3.5 hours, and then we were booked to do the spa, so it was meant to be full unlimited use of the spa, but we weren't allowed into the spa until we were in our room.
Oh, so you could have gone to the spa before the room, basically.
Yeah. Well, I stayed in Galgorm the week before, and we arrived at 11 o'clock in the morning, and they went, "Your room's not ready until 4 o'clock. But here, go into the spa. Here's 2 robes. Here's wee slippers for you. Leave your cases here. We'll put them up in the room for you.
Classic.
And whenever you are ready, and here, there's a voucher for a drink because you've arrived up." So then we go down to Wexford, and they're like, "No, well, you can't get in until you actually get booked into the room." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, can I pay to get in?" And they were like, "Yeah, well, if you give us €50, we'll let you into the spa." And I was like, "There's no discount, like, even though I've just paid for 2 nights and give you €800 or whatever it was, like, to stay." And it was like, so the service was below par that way.
You're very happy, or very unhappy.
The food was lovely. Food was lovely in the hotel.
Aesthetically, did it look good?
It did, but it had got dated. They put it this way: they had painted over the tiles in the steam room, and it was starting to peel off. So it started to look like
Unbelievable.
a cell. It looked like a prisoner
Prison
cell.
cell.
And from somebody from the north going down, that's not a good.
That's not a good look. They probably
Especially
thought
when
like,
it's a steam room. You know, halfway through me being in a steam room, I started thinking I was being interrogated by 2 people from Dublin because they were going, "Where are you from?"
really were they talking to
And
you?
they were trying to talk to me, but I felt like I was in an interrogation.
Oh, did you tell them you were from Belfast, or did you say West
I
Belfast?
says, "No," I says, "I'm not fucking talking to nobody until my brief gets here." I want my fucking phone
I am
call.
saying nothing.
I want my fucking phone. I'm going out the front row.
I'm going out the front door.
Roman Jarrett.
I am going out the front door.
Genuinely, when I spoke to anybody down there, they didn't tend to hang about, even in the spa.
What was the clientele like? The other guests?
They all seemed lovely. I seemed to be one of the only people with tattoos all over my body, and I could see them looking. You know, and then
Really?
yeah. And it was strange because now tattoos are a lot more modern and stuff like that.
Mate, people, like, I was watching a documentary the other day, and there was a guy, he must have had about 30 tattoos. He was a paramedic. And he's going around,
I thought
like,
you were going to say a paramilitary.
No, he's paramedic. Paramedic. But he's a paramedic, and you're like, oh my God, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Well, I just found, like, down there, like, a guy who had to be, he was trying to get the thing to work on the wee spa, and I was saying to him, "You really have to push your finger in. You have to hold it." And he was sort of like, you know, and he couldn't get out of the pool quick enough when I spoke to him. And then I seen his.
And do
wife
you feel it as an angst? Do you? Do you feel it as
I
you
think
do?
there
Yeah.
is. I think there's a wee. And I could be wrong, but I just felt like there was that wee bit of like, oh,
You're from the north.
look
kind
at
of
that chap.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what? Do you know what, Paddy? Like, I'll be honest with you. I've had incidences in Dublin, like, and you know, you're from Cork, like,
But
you know what I
Dublin
mean?
and Cork don't like each other.
Yeah, but like, I think that a lot of the time is that they just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, the accent up here, you know, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? Like, you know, the way, like, how are you? You know, like, it's not as soft,
No, I
which
get
is totally fine. And I like the North accent, the Northern Irish accent. I do the North, the Ulster accent, whatever, where you're from. I like it. It doesn't. Glasgow can be very, you know, and the Scousers as well. They're very defined. They're very, like, you know. Whereas, you know, you go to the south, it's a little bit more soft. And I think sometimes they, not ignorant to the north, but like, they just don't know how to. the amount of people I know from the south that have would never gone further than Dublin. You know, and they just don't know. Like, and they hear the voice.
We
and they're
need
like,
to break that, Andrew. Me and you need to go and do a tour.
No, what we need to do is we need to get
a
1 million people in the north on a Monday just to head south for a day. Just fucking flood the place.
That would really scare them, wouldn't
Just fucking every car head south for the day. Just flood the place.
It would be like the border.
Leave this place empty.
It'd be like, oh.
Yeah, just fucking flood it, man. 1 million people arrive in Dublin, all in fucking Northern Irish Reg cars, and nobody does anything.
That normally happens when there's an All Ireland that somebody like Tyrone's in it or something like that.
Yeah, like Derry were in the semi-final and they were complaining about the lack of trains, weren't they?
Yeah.
Going down.
There's not enough trains. Get us down.
Yeah.
They don't talk like that.
Yeah, but do you know what I love about Ireland in GAA season?
There's not enough fucking trains for us to go down there, so
But the thing about this is the national psyche in Ireland when GAA is on, especially with teams from the north, right? Like Tyrone and Armagh, they're always like going on stuff like that. This is genuinely true that I saw on RTE News, right? There was one day on RTE News and it said that Vladimir Putin had come on and said something about the war, about saying, like, you know, basically to the rest of the West, don't get fucking involved with this war or you'll see shit that you've never seen before. Like, basically Putin is threatening everyone to say, stay the fuck out of this war with Ukraine. And obviously, as a human being, you're sitting home and you're going like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible. The following day, the main headline was, the Kerry Gaelic football team cannot get a hotel in Dublin.
because of the 13 Northerners have booked
They can't get a hotel in Dublin. David Clifford needs his fucking sleep. Basically, Putin in the east is going, we're going to nuke the west. And the Irish newspaper are going, but the Kerry footballers need sleep.
I don't
like,
care
this is how fucking
I'm telling you now, Vladimir.
GAA takes over. Like.
Hold on, Vladimir. No, I'm just letting you know now. You're going to be down the pecking order.
Yeah. All Ireland final is the 30th of July. Don't nuke us till after because we've got to find out who's
Lads
winning.
from the kingdom can't get a hotel.
Can't get a fucking hotel. We're going to be nuked by Putin.
But do you know how hard it is to get an Airbnb in Wexford?
Would you go back to Wexford?
I would.
You enjoyed it?
Do you know what I liked about it? Like, they go to I love Donegal.
Right.
To go to Donegal, it's
but that would have been flooded, man. But it would have been flooded.
No, it wasn't. There's plenty of rumours. Plenty of
Yeah.
rumours. Not enough houses built up there, and all the houses are falling down on them. But it's 2.5 hours up, but it's a bit of a trek to Donegal.
not a straight
up
road,
and down
like.
and over big mountains. And Wexford was just like straight down the motorway. It was like a flat road. And for the same amount of time. And
You can go further south,
I seen
yeah.
Coortown and I went, you know, I could have brought the kids down here because there's plenty for them.
Yeah.
It was lovely. I was really surprised how nice it was to me. Must be loads of people with money and that have holiday homes who are from Dublin. Must be where they go as Wexford.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it. I really loved it. I did.
What about, have you ever been to, are you planning on any more trips this year with the wife and kids at all to go anywhere in there? Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go back to Donegal again. The weekend here.
Have you got a place there?
Oh, no, not like my own place, like, but I go up and stay, yeah.
Have you got your own place?
No, I
you
don't.
So where do you stay?
Oh, different places.
Hotels? Or do you get a...
I know people.
You know, you just make a phone call. I'm crossing the border now.
I need to get out of Belfast.
Do you know what I find really insane? Do you know that place there in Donegal? See that there on the map? That place there. What's that point?
That's not in Donegal.
Is this map wrong?
No, that's not Donegal.
What's
White's
that?
Donegal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the white bit.
That's Portrush and that's Portrush and like
That bit.
Port Stewart and Castle Rock.
Yeah, but that white bit.
The white bit
is
Malin Head.
Right. So Malin Head is...
And Nissen Head
so
is
I
the
go up,
most southern.
Yeah, so I go up to Malin Head, I'm spending euros. And I'm looking across and I'm spending pounds.
Yes. When we were there the other week, we were in Portrush and my kid says to me, is that Scotland? And I went, no, that's Donegal.
Fuck. I still have...
Well, here's the mad thing, right? You go from there in Derry and you drive 5 minutes up the road and you're in Donegal. And there's no check, like you don't realise.
But the euro does check.
You'll only notice that the next minute. Oh, the signs are different. It's like going from Newry until
Dundalk, yeah.
Same thing.
And would a lot of the unionist community from Derry go to Donegal?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd love it, like.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
There's lots of unionist community from Belfast that have fucking houses in Portneuf and parts of Donegal. Like the Orange Order March in Donegal and Rossnarla.
Do they?
Every year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And how is that sanctioned? Because it's Donegal, it's part of the South.
But they had lodges in it prior till County Cavan and County Monaghan have orange lodges as well.
And obviously the Southern Irish councils or the councils in Donegal are like, look, we'll allow it. Or
It's always been there. So
Because people woke
well,
up.
it's not always been there. Somebody will come on this show and go, "No, it wasn't always there." It's been there
People
for a
have
long time.
remember. I remember when the borderline was drawn. People went to bed one night living in the UK and they woke up in the Republic. Do you know what I mean? Even though like you might be a unionist person and the next thing they woke up and they were in bloody the Republic then, and they've had to live as a unionist.
There's people made a lot of money that live on the border where their front gardens and
Yeah, in the back garden. Yeah,
and the back
so
gardens in the south. So
whichever
all you
police
need to
force
do
turn up is you run
can
in between.
bring a petrol tanker into your front garden, and then all of a sudden it goes into your back garden, and it's no duty being paid on it, but the fuel goes out. You know, it's
fucked up, innit?
yeah.
It's crazy, man. So now, Paddy, we're gigging tonight
Yes, in the Empire.
in the Empire. I haven't gigged with you since for a long time.
Yeah, I think the bat was the last one, wasn't it?
The bat.
The bat.
What's the bat?
The bat. We blacking fucking.
Oh, that fucking gig
comes
we
out
did.
of it.
Oh, Jesus
The bat,
Christ.
The
bat.
botanic, we call it the bat. But
bat.
you just call it the butt. If you would say it, you say the butt.
The botanic.
The B-O-T. The butt. How would you say the butt?
The bat. The butt.
The butt.
The butt.
But we call it the bat.
B-U-T-T.
We call it the
butt.
bat. But you should go then, that's B-A-T, but it's not B-A-T.
It's
a botanic.
I call it, but I say
The botanic, eh?
Botanic Avenue.
But you say botanic.
Botanic.
You sort of like bo.
Yeah,
but
botanic.
We can't get our moves to go in that shape, so we go botanic.
It sounds like a P.
I know.
Patanic.
Yeah.
It's called botanic.
Yeah.
I can see why we don't want you. You need to learn how to fucking speak properly, Paddy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. Now,
We don't want to speak proper England.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
We don't want to speak fucking. You guys speak more fucking Irish than I do. Like, I'm embarrassed sometimes. Like, I get embarrassed sometimes when I realise that, like, some people up here, like, living in the north, have more fucking Irish language skills than I do. And
I'm all too can't skill again. No?
can you speak Oscuelga?
Yeah. I'll not do it then. I was going to do a bit there, but I'll not do it. I was hoping that they didn't know.
Conas Tatu. That's the lads. That's the cousins. That's the nephews there that they smashed
See,
it.
they smashed it.
They smashed it, man.
The defunct what you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My two nephews are actually in the studio watching the podcast record today, all the way up from Cork.
We're getting a grant for having the kids in.
We're getting a grant for having the kids in. It's like Donald Trump burying his wife in
This is like the West Belfast Gael talk.
This is
They come up and they learn how to be rough.
yeah.
Do you need captain on a Monday?
Today is cross community podcasting. No, what's happening is they've come up from the south to learn the ways of the north. They're actually come up here part of the Sinn Féin relocation scheme.
Yeah.
So they're actually coming up just to see what they're going to gain from if there ever is a border
They're just
poll
getting
and it
prepared
passes.
for the United Ireland.
The United Ireland, which I genuinely feel with the shit that's going on, I think it's going to be accelerated.
Yeah,
I think in the
so
next
too.
5-6 years, man.
I think
what's going. We're going. It's, like I don't know, but it could get worse before it gets really fucking better. If it gets better, I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're testing the water with things to see how the reaction's going to go and how things are going to go.
Yeah.
I do think they're testing the water to see if there would be another civil war and all. I can't see there being another civil war.
No, I think we're past all of that. I think the civil war will be on Twitter.
How can you have a civil war when everybody's watching Love Island? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do they do is you slip in Irish reunification on the night final of Love Island.
And they're like, what the fuck happened?
What the fuck happened here? Why have you got euros now?
What do you mean you can't take my money today? Well, look, I have to go.
Lovely to have you on, Paddy, as always.
Thank you very much.
And we'll get your dates and stuff like that up for your tour.
Yes,
and enjoy the
definitely.
Fail, man.
Yes,
We'll hear about it.
100%.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you,
Thank you,
Andy.
Paddy.